Have you ever felt alone in a room full of people? Quite the paradox, isn't it? But let's unravel this mystery together in our bustling world where social media notifications are as constant as the ticking of a clock. We often find ourselves in this peculiar situation. You see, there are two distinct phenomena at play here, solitude and loneliness. Let's start with solitude. Picture it as a serene lake, calm and peaceful. It's the state of being alone without the heaviness of loneliness. It's the freedom to explore your thoughts, to dive into the depths of your mind without interruption. Interesting. And it's a sanctuary where you can embrace your individuality and cultivate self-awareness. So, now on the other side of the coin, we have loneliness. Unlike solitude, loneliness is a stormy sea, a negative emotional response to perceived isolation. Go with me on this. I'm into the ocean analogy here. It's the feeling of being adrift and disconnected, even when surrounded by others. It's a universal human experience, but one that can weigh heavily on our hearts. Now, it's important to understand that solitude and loneliness are not inherently good or bad, really. They're simply different states of being, each with its challenges and opportunities. The key lies in our perception and how we choose to navigate these waters. Now, solitude, often misunderstood and avoided, is a precious resource. As you know, in a world that demands our attention at every turn, solitude offers a respite, a chance to reconnect with ourselves. It's an essential component of personal growth and self-awareness. It's during these quiet moments of introspection that we can truly hear our voice, understand our desires, and chart our course. So, the next time you find yourself alone, remember this. Solitude is not a state to be feared, but an opportunity for self-discovery, which, I don't know about you, I like it. It's a journey inward, a voyage into the uncharted territories of your mind. And who knows? You might just find treasures hidden within the silence. So, embrace the stillness, relish the quiet, and let the magic of solitude unfold. So far, so good, right? Are you finding these insights helpful? If so, give this video a thumbs up, and we'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Solitude is not about isolation, but about introspection. It is the art of turning inwards, away from the clamor of the outside world to find a space of tranquility and clarity within ourselves. It's about carving out a sanctuary where we can reflect, dream, and simply be. Solitude, my friends, is a gift we give to ourselves. It's an opportunity for self-discovery, a chance to get acquainted with the person we spend the most time with, ourselves. When we're alone, we can explore the landscapes of our minds without distractions or interruptions. We can venture into the uncharted territories of our thoughts, feelings, and aspirations. It's a journey of discovery, where we unearth our passions, our fears, and our dreams. Yet, the beauty of solitude doesn't stop at self-discovery, it also sparks creativity. So you see, this happens to me a lot. When we're alone, our minds are free to wander, to dream, to create. Now, the creator in me, solitude is the canvas on which we paint the pictures of our imagination. It's the silence that allows the symphony of our thoughts to play. It's where ideas are born and where creativity flourishes. But solitude is more than just a breeding ground for creativity, it's also a catalyst for productivity. Without the distractions of the external world, we can focus on our goals, make decisions with clarity, and channel our energy into meaningful action. It's the quiet harbor from which we set sail toward our dreams. Go with me on this. Embracing solitude doesn't mean disconnecting from the world, but rather connecting with ourselves on a deeper level. It's about finding balance, about knowing when to engage with the world and when to retreat into our inner sanctums. It's about understanding that we need moments of quiet to recharge, reflect, and renew. You can embrace solitude in many ways. You might find it in the early morning hours before the world wakes up, in a quiet walk in the park, or the peaceful solitude of your own room. The key is to find moments of quiet, to disconnect from the external world and connect with yourself. Doesn't that sound great? So remember, it's in the quiet moments of solitude that we truly get to know ourselves. It's in these moments that we find clarity, creativity, and connection. It's in these moments that we discover the art of embracing solitude. Loneliness is not the absence of company, but the absence of connection. Let's take a moment to soak that in. Loneliness, in its true essence, is not the mere lack of bodies around us, but a deeper, more profound absence, the absence of meaningful connection. Now, this is where the paradox gets interesting. You see, we live in a world where we're more connected than ever before. We have friends, followers, and connections at the tips of our fingers, but the question is, do these digital interactions truly satisfy our human need for connection? Or do they merely create a false sense of companionship, leaving us hungrier for genuine human interaction? In our quest to stay socially relevant, we often overlook the fact that these digital platforms can sometimes lead us into a trap of isolation. The constant barrage of posts, likes, and comments can create a distorted reality where everyone else seems to be having a blast while we are left feeling alone and disconnected. It's like being at a party where everyone is having fun, but you can't seem to join in. And then there's our society's emphasis on socializing. We're often told that if we're not out there mingling and making connections, we're missing out. But here's the catch. It's not the quantity of social interactions that matter, but the quality. We can be in a room full of people and still feel utterly alone. That's because loneliness doesn't stem from being alone. It stems from feeling alone. The unhappiness that often accompanies loneliness is not a result of our solitary state, but rather a symptom of our disconnection from our own selves. It's a sign that we've lost touch with who we are, what we want, and where we're headed. So let's flip the script. Let's start viewing loneliness not as a pitfall, but as a sign, a signal from our inner selves that something is amiss. It's our soul's way of telling us that it's time to reconnect, to rekindle that relationship with our inner selves. Loneliness is a sign that we've lost touch with ourselves. And the first step to overcoming loneliness is acknowledging this sign and taking steps to reconnect with our inner selves. That, my friends, is the true art of mastering solitude. The antidote to loneliness is not company, but connection. Connection with oneself. Now you may ask, how does one transform the gnawing feeling of loneliness into the refreshing spring of solitude? The answer lies within you, in self-reflection, self-awareness, and self-acceptance. We often run from loneliness, seeking refuge in the company of others or the distractions of modern technology. But what if we chose to sit with our loneliness, to understand it, and to learn from it? Here's the thing. That's where self-reflection comes in. It's like having a heart-to-heart conversation with yourself where you allow your innermost thoughts and feelings to surface. You might be surprised at what you discover. Remember, it's okay to feel lonely. It's okay to feel lost. These feelings are signposts, pointing you towards areas of your life that need attention. Now, on to self-awareness. This is the ability to recognize and understand your moods, emotions, and drives, as well as their effect on others. It's about knowing what makes you tick, what brings you joy, and what drains your energy. And it's about recognizing when you're feeling lonely and understanding why. But self-awareness alone isn't enough. We also need self-acceptance. This is about embracing who you are, warts and all. It's about making peace with your imperfections and celebrating your uniqueness. It's about saying, yes, I feel lonely, and that's okay. I am enough just as I am. So, how do you cultivate these qualities? Well, there are many paths to self-awareness and self-acceptance. You might find them through meditation or mindfulness practices, through journaling or creative expression, or through time spent in nature. The key is to find what works for you and to make it a regular part of your life. Let's wrap this up and recap. Transforming loneliness into solitude isn't about escaping from yourself, but about turning towards yourself with curiosity and compassion. It's about learning to be your own best friend, your own source of comfort and support. When we learn to enjoy our own company, we transform loneliness into solitude. Mastering solitude is not about escaping the world, but about engaging with it on a deeper level. It's about finding that quiet space within yourself where you can truly connect with your innermost thoughts and feelings. It's about uncovering the layers of your own identity, free from the noise and influence of the outside world. Let's take a quick stroll down memory lane and revisit the stepping stones we've crossed in our journey so far. We've explored the paradox of solitude and loneliness, the art of embracing solitude, the pitfalls of loneliness, and how to transform loneliness into solitude. All these insights have a common thread, and that is the power of solitude in shaping our personal growth and self-awareness. We've understood that solitude is not akin to loneliness. It's not a state of isolation, but a state of introspection. It's a serene space where we can slow down, listen to our inner voice, and cultivate our own unique perspectives. It's an opportunity to nurture our creativity, foster our independence, and reconnect with our true selves. Remember, mastering solitude is not a sprint, but a marathon. It's a journey that unfolds at its own pace. It's a process that requires patience, practice, and perseverance. The first step is simply to make space for solitude in your daily life. It could be as simple as taking a quiet walk in the woods, a park nearby, or along the beach, practicing mindfulness, or even just sitting in silence for a few moments each day. As we cultivate the art of solitude, we become more attuned to our own needs, desires, and aspirations. We gain a deeper understanding of who we are, what we want, and where we want to go. This self-awareness empowers us to make decisions that align with our authentic selves, enabling us to lead more fulfilling lives. In the words of the great philosopher Blaise Pascal, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. By mastering solitude, we learn to sit quietly with ourselves, confront our fears and insecurities, celebrate our strengths and achievements, and embrace our unique journey. So, whether you're an introvert who cherishes your alone time or an extrovert stepping out of your comfort zone, remember that solitude is a skill that can be cultivated. It's an art that can be mastered, and it's a journey that can lead to a richer, more meaningful life. Mastering solitude is the first step to mastering oneself. Take this step and open the door to a world of self-discovery, personal growth, and inner peace. And before you go, we'd love to hear from you. Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might just inspire someone else to start their own journey. Also, make sure to like and hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Until then, take care of yourself. See you next time.